Hello everyone and welcome to Snetterton, homes to round 5 and 6 of the 2022 Intelligent Money British GT Championship. It's Friday, so of course we're going to do our pit lane preview, but we're starting here in the paddock because we've got more cars than we've got garages, and we're starting with 2Cs who have got 2 Mercedes this weekend, the first of which is the race by race entry featuring Johnny, Adam and Flick Hay. They join us for the first time since Silverstone, and the more familiar DK Engineering backed Mercedes of James Cottingham and Lewis Williamson. That car finished second at Donington. It has a 7-second success penalty in race 1 on Sunday. Third of the cars actually in the paddock is the Motus 1 McLaren. Haven't seen a great deal of that this year. It is a race by race entry, so like Johnny and Flick, that car won't be scoring drivers' points in GT4 this weekend. McLaren have a very proud record here at Snetterton. They have won every year they've been here since 2016. Our 570S GT4 gets replaced at the end of this year with the new Artura that was announced in the week. Can those guys, or one of the other 2 570Ss, continue that streak into a 7th year? Now, through the power of television, we're going to go very, very quickly into the pit lane. So follow me. And here we are, the Snetterton pit lane, and first up, Team BRIT's McLaren. Here's Aaron and Bobby, just getting ready for their weekend. As I said earlier on, the 570S has a very proud record here this weekend. Hello Aaron, you all right?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, not too bad. We haven't really caught up on camera yet this year, but I know you've done some stuff with TV about your hand controls in the McLaren. It's the only one in the world, I think, homologated with that, isn't it? Just tell us a little bit about how it works.
Yeah, so the hand controls, they're all based on the steering wheel. So the typical gear shifter paddle on the upside is a throttle that works progressively. Then on the other side, there's a paddle that works progressively to be the brake pedal. And then we've got buttons inside the gears, inside the steering wheel, which change the gears for us. So up on the rocker goes up a gear. You don't have to use both sides at the same time. So when I'm on full throttle, I change up gears with my left thumb. And then when I'm on the brakes with my left hand, I change down gears with my right thumb.
Mega stuff. Have a good one, mate. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Right, moving on, we go on to WPI. Second in the championship. They're 15.5 points behind Ian Loggy, despite not really doing a great deal so far this year. They haven't been on the podium. They certainly haven't had a win, but as I say, 15.5 points. They're second in the championship. No success penalty in race 1 at a track with a Lamborghini. Always goes well, as does Phil Keane. Another Lambo next up, the Hurricane of Redline Racing's Alex Maliakin and James Dorlin. Another under-the-radar team so far this year. No podiums for them, but they're 4th in the championship in their debut season and comfortably leading the Silver Am standings. No success penalty for them in race 1 on Sunday. I have a feeling that car is going to be somewhere near the podium. On to a car that does have a success penalty in race 1 on Sunday. It is the Donington Park winning Academy Mustang of Matt Cowley and Marco Signoretti. Matt and Academy and the Mustang won one of the races here at Snetterton last year. As we mentioned, that success penalty might make things difficult in race 1. Race 2 could be where the Ford comes into its own. Another Lambo, familiar colours of Barwell, Sandy Mitchell and Adam Ballon. Tricky times for them at Donington. They did win at Silverstone, you'll remember, but as I say, things didn't really go to plan at Donington. They do have a great record here though. Barwell and Adam, they won twice here in 2019 and have won 3 times together. Barwell have won about 6 times here since they took the Hurricane over in 2016. Another front runner, this is the Newbridge Aston Martin, a front runner in GT4 I might add. That car currently sits second in the championship with Matt Topham and Darren Turner, 4 points behind the Audi, which we'll get to in a minute. And another of the winners from Donington, and a dominant win it was too for Enduro Motorsports, Morgan Tilbrook and Marcus Clutton. They won by a minute, which is pretty incredible for British GT. Those guys have 10 seconds in the first pit stop on Sunday. Just before we go past it, the Ginetta G56, that's a Seto's yet to see the best of that car this year. Freddie Thomas. Interrupted there, but we move on to the second cars. It is, of course, the Bentley Continental. Mark Sansom and Will Tregertha at the wheel of that. That car is going to be our driver's eye star on Sunday, so look out for that on social. Sadly, we can't show you the Team Parker 911. I guess that's at scrutineering, but we can show you the car that just went fastest in final testing here at Snetterton. in the GT4 class. That's Jamie Orton, who set the time. He's with Seb Hopkins, who unfortunately cannot now become the youngest race winner in British GT history. He's 8 days older than Sandy Mitchell was here in 2016. On to ABBA Racing, a car that's had prodigious pace this year, but just hasn't really had a result. They really are P nowhere in the championship, but Sam Neary and Richard Neary have done well in qualifying. Expect that car to go particularly well in the AM session in race 1. That car could be a podium threat in race 1 in particular. Same goes really for Team Rocket RJN. Not seen the best of Simon Watt and James Kell yet this year, but James did win one of the GT4 races here last year with Rocket. And on to our racing's Aston Martin. These guys, I think from memory, about 4th in the championship in GT4, going along very nicely in a debut year. Both drivers only 16 years old, incredible. Another McLaren, we've got a lot of them, 6 in fact. This is the Fox Motorsport example. Fox took their only British GT win here back in 2015. That was in the rain-shortened race. That was in GT4 as well. Jamie Stanley is still on board. Nothing for Paddock Motorsport, which is a shame because Graham Davidson, the 2019 champion, is subbing for Kelvin Fletcher this weekend alongside Martin Plowman. He did a great job on his Super Sub debut at Alton Park with Rocket. But we do have Paddock's 570S McLaren. As we touched on earlier on, McLaren have a phenomenal record here. Mo Ritson and Ashley Marshall in that one. And another McLaren, Greystone GT's example, shared by father and son duo Stuart and Lewis Proctor. On we go, hello Mia. As I alluded to there is Mia Flewitt, and she shares with Ewan Hankey, of course. It is the 76 720S, loads of McLarens this season. They had their best ever British GT result last time out at Donington. And we move on to the GT4 Championship leading entry. This, of course, Stella Motorsport Audi R8. Not a particularly great race for them at Donington Park. They got on the wrong side of a safety car at the start of the race after Richard Williams had spun. They did qualify on pole though and have won here at Snetterton before. No success penalty in race 1. Look out for the championship leaders to bounce back. New face in the 91 Century BMW M4 GT3. Joel Eriksson joins Betty Chen this weekend. And on to the first of Century's 2 GT4 spec M4s. That you're looking at the car of Will Burns and Jack Brown. Those guys have got a 7-second success penalty in race 1 because they finished 2nd at Donington, firmly in the championship hunt. Tom Rawlings and Chris Salkeld in the 2nd of those. You might have seen on our social that Century confirmed only this week that they will be taking delivery of 2 brand new M4 GT4s for the start of next year. That car is homologated at the end of this season. And finally, we do get down to the teams and drivers' championship leaders. First up, though, it's the number 15 entry for Ram Racing, John Ferguson and Elise de Pauw. The team confirmed that Elise will be joining us for the rest of the season after he made a one-off outing at Donington, and he celebrated that by absolutely smashing the qualifying lap record in testing earlier today. And then on to the last of this weekend's entries. It is, well, we have saved the best till last, Ian Loggy and Callum McLeod. Ian has obviously split duties between Callum and Jules Gounon, who returns at Spa. So it's Ian who leads the championship on his own, as we said, by 15.5 points. 5-second success penalty, race 1 on Sunday, but they are phenomenally quick. So look out for the Mercedes, and a car, of course, that won here last year as well. Right, that's it for the pit lane preview. Remember, we are live from qualifying tomorrow, and then both races as well. They're also live on Sky Sports F1. We hope you can join us.